How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another video. It is Sunday, July 8th. It is just shy of 8 o'clock at night right now. Wanted to get the video started because I have quite a bit that I need to kind of show you guys. Pretty much, long story short, we had a race on July 3rd. We had a big 4th of July show, big 4th of July race. And I planned on taking you guys along with me, having somebody film. I had it all planned out as it should have gone, as it usually goes, but unfortunately, plans changed. So I'm going to take you guys, I deleted a lot of the footage because I pretty much had a whole video's worth of stuff, because I decided to go on anyways, but I thought, no, I don't think it was going to work, you know, with the way it went. With the way it went, I just didn't think it was going to work out. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I'll show you guys the footage that I decided to save for you guys, and then I'll explain why I cut the rest. So I'm going to take you guys back to last week, to the race, to the day of the race, getting ready and heading to the track and everything like that, and you guys will find out what's going on. Well, I got back from Des Moines. I got a few rims, some stuff for potentially a new throttle for 03. I grabbed a few other things from the racing store in Des Moines. I came back, I spent about 5-10 minutes here at the shop, and then I hopped in the Dodge, which is this fine baby girl right here. And I took her over to our place, and I hooked on to the trailer with my car on it. So my car is ready to go. What do you think, guys? Huh? And we got Dad's car here, ready to rock and roll. We'll be leaving here in just a little bit, headed to the track to get ready for our very big show tonight. Alrighty, guys. It's about 1:30. I'm hopping in the Dodge. There goes Dad with his car. I'm in the Dodge with mine on. Put it in old tow haul. And let's get rolling. Here we go, going to the track. We're gonna stop, get some race fuel and some stuff to drink because it's kind of hot today. There be the old car. It's off to the track we go. Woohoo! We're gonna stop in town, grab some things to drink, grab some fuel, make sure we're all good to go, and then we're gonna go ahead and head to the track. Unload the cars, get everything all ready to rock for the races, get geared up. Track races don't start till 7:15, so we got plenty of time, but we don't like to rush. We like to be there early, get the cars off the trailer. We like to take our time, and then other cars can come in and hurry and zip around and get all rushed. We'll be ready to rock and roll. I'm a little nervous about these features, but the only way to get over a fear of something is to just do it. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and get on over to the track, and we'll catch you guys later on. Oh guys, it's about 5:40 now. We've been at the track a few hours. The pits are starting to fill up, very, very full with cars, trucks, even a big rig. But unfortunately, we had an unfortunate turn of events occur when we got here. We got here to the track. We both parked our trucks with our trailers. Dad unstrapped his car. I unstrapped mine. And Dad said, let's go ahead and hop in yours and get it unloaded. I hopped in it, flicked the power switch, hit my start button. The starter wasn't sounding right. It sounded like the gears were spinning, but it wasn't like catching and causing the other ones to turn over the engine. It was just sitting there spinning. So Dad grabbed a wrench and tapped on my starter, and the starter just completely fell out. It just completely fell out, landed on the floor of the trailer. That starter's bad, fell out. So, unfortunately, I had to scratch tonight. I went ahead and restrapped my car down, and my car is unfortunately gonna stay right here tonight on the trailer. It's not going anywhere. It won't start now without a starter. But we got Dad's down,
Got it ready to go. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I can't race tonight. I was very upset. Very upset because it's double feature tonight. Double feature, double points, double money, everything to make up for last race. And I was really looking forward to run. I was ready to run. And couldn't even get it off the trailer. But it happens. I've gotten over it. But sometime this week, when everything's opened back up again, I will go and get a new starter. It'll probably be a couple $100 for a starter. Get a new starter. We're gonna take this girl to the shop and we're gonna jack it up when we get the new starter, because it goes right in here. You can see this line here is where the starter usually goes, and we zip tied it up so it wasn't in the way. But we'll jack it up, get a new starter on it, and it'll be good to go. Here's my old starter right here. Those are the gears that were in there that fell out, and then this here is the actual starter. It was, for some reason, it had just gotten loose and it fell out, and so that pretty much shut my car down for the night. So it happens. Stuff breaks, whether it's a race car, a car you're driving on the road, you know, any piece of equipment, stuff's gonna break. It's what happens. Yeah, I was disappointed, and I'm still disappointed that I can't run this girl tonight, but things happen. We got 2 weeks until the next race. Our next race is July 22nd, so we got a few weeks. That gives us plenty of time to do a quick zip, put a new starter in it. She'll fire up just fine, and she'll be ready to run better than ever for the next race. So that's just gonna get me more excited to run next time. Yeah, I'm missing out on points and I'm missing out on money, but there's nothing I can do. If the car's not gonna run, if the car can't run, the car can't run. So all I can do is spend the money, get a new starter, zip, get it put on, and it'll be good to go. So we're just gonna have one car in our fleet run tonight. Old Reliable 03 is gonna be our runner tonight. Dad's gonna be driving it all night long. I'm not even putting my gear on tonight. I just decided with my car not running, I'm not gonna run. I'm just gonna take the night off of racing, take my mind off the car being broke down, enjoy watching Dad run. We're just gonna run one car tonight, have a good time despite the circumstances. It's gonna be a quick, easy fix to get my car done, and it'll be back on the track next race. No worries there. So I'm just gonna forget about it, enjoy watching Dad run, enjoy the fireworks, have a good night of racing, and we're gonna have a good night.
So that was my situation that we stumbled into last week at the race, with my starter falling off, and it was completely unexpected, completely unplanned, but you gotta roll with the punches. And so I just left my car on the trailer that night. I scratched from the races. Dad ran. He did all right. Wasn't the best performance. He even said he didn't feel like he ran as good until the very end of the night with the main feature. He said he thought he did pretty well, but I just decided to scratch out all the content that I filmed, just because this channel is a lot about my life and showing you guys what I'm doing and me learning new things and trying new things. And because I wasn't out there on the track, I just thought, well, I'll just make a new video and I'll just put in the situation. And I thought I'll wait for the next racing footage until I'm back out on the track as well. Nothing against my dad running, but I want it to be me against him on video this year when it comes to our racing career. So I just decided to cut the footage, and so you guys got to see what I saved from that day of filming, and you guys got to learn of the situation. But it's been 6 days actually now, because the 3rd was on a Monday, so it'll be a week tomorrow. Today actually we fixed the problem. Pretty much what we did was Wednesday of last week, everything was closed on Tuesday due to it being the 4th. So I couldn't do anything then. But Wednesday, on my lunch break, I went over to the car parts store and picked up a new starter. They had one on hand for me. And so I bought it, and I eventually put it in the driver's seat of my race car. So it was already at the shop, ready to go whenever we were ready to put it in. And that's pretty much what we did all day today. We concentrated on getting the car off the trailer, which was pretty easy. We just put it in neutral and rolled it off. But we jacked it up, set it on blocks, took the right side tire off on the front side, so we had access to the engine compartment from that side. We had Jonesy come out, and Dad did a lot of the electrical work with the starter, getting the jumper wire created and put on there, and putting the wire on, recreating, because the copper lug for the hot wire that runs juice from the battery to the starter had broke as well when the starter came falling down. So we had to get it. I bought some new lugs today, and so we got one put on. He concentrated on the electrical side of things, and while he was doing the electrical side, me and Jonesy were under the car, and we were actually mounting the starter in and getting it all mounted. We had to take the old part off that was still there, that didn't fall off. We had to take that off, and then we put the new one on. It took a while. It took some trial and error, but we ended up getting it, and now my car fires right up just like it used to. It fires up, it drives, it does everything it's supposed to. So it is back to being race ready. 04 will be on the track for the next race, as long as nothing else goes wrong and the weather holds up. There's always those what ifs. But the starter problem is fixed. There's a new starter in it, and it's ready to run once again. So I'm excited. I was itching to get out there that night, but I just couldn't. So now that my car is fixed, I can start gearing up and preparing myself for the next race. So I'm definitely taking you guys along with me for that. So I wanted to update you guys on that situation. But tomorrow is a farming day. I don't really know what we're doing. I have no idea if we're just going to be in the truck all day. I don't know if we have other things going on. I have no clue. I never know anymore. It's kind of just riding the train, going with the flow, and we do whatever we need to do. So we'll have to see what happens. The only thing I know we're doing is hog chores first thing in the morning. I got to go in with Dad, and we'll probably do what we did last week, where he does the north room and I do the south room. The south room, we're still mat feeding pigs, so it'll take me a little bit longer than him, because he's just going to pretty much walk through and pull any pigs that need to be pulled, give any shots that need to be given, and that's pretty much it. Make sure the feeders are full, make sure the water nipples are working and everything else. But me, I have to do all of that. Well, I'm not giving shots, he's doing all the shots. But if I see a pig in the pen that isn't doing very well, especially at this age when they're young, they run away from you. So I'll stand at one side of the pen and they'll all run by me. And if I see one that is going slower, maybe getting run over by a couple pigs or something like that, not doing so well, I'll grab it and I'll put it out in the alleyway so that it can be put into the sick pens, where it can be given some extensive care and boosted back up to where it should be. So I'll pull those out. I'll still pull out pigs that need to be pulled, and then I'll be mat feeding, getting feed down on the mats so that they get used to feed, because they're still very young, they're still getting used to that. So that'll be my responsibility for the morning for hog chores. And then after that, I don't know. I have no idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. No matter what happens, there may not be anything happening tomorrow. I have no idea. But I wanted to start the video now that my race car is fixed and ready to run again. So I showed you guys what happened to it, and then now it's fixed. We just brought it back home, and it's sitting on the trailer. So all we got to do is do a quick overview of it, hook onto the trailer, and take it to the track on race day. So it's ready to roll. So I'm going to go ahead and chill out for the rest of the night, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, guys. Good morning, everybody. It's about 8:30 on Monday the 10th, and we got done doing hog chores this morning. I went in and did a lot of pulling pigs that were smaller, weren't doing as well, so they could get into a place where they could be better and a little bit more isolated and have more individual care. Gave some shots, made sure everybody was good. And now we're out here. Over the weekend, they were, or I guess late last week, they were out raking some hay, and they ended up breaking a couple of rake wheels. That's what these are here. These are a couple wheels off of the rake. And so we got, Scott ended up coming to where I work at the farm store and picked up some new rake wheels. He's got them in the back of his pickup. We got the 7410. We put that rake wheel on. We're gonna get this one on now. All right, guys, it's now 10:45. I'm in the pickup. Dad is hopping in the 7410. We had to, like I showed you guys very briefly, we had to replace 2 rake wheels, and we had to do a little bit more work too, because one of the arms where the hub is attached, where you attach your rake wheel, it was bent to the point where the rake wheel in front of it that goes on that, the rake wheel would be hitting the one to the back of it, and so it'd be catching and you risk breaking it. So we ended up taking it out and using the torch, heating it up, and we bent it, but it still wasn't enough. So we ended up switching it and putting it on the back. Took that whole arm, put it on the back, and brought the one on the back to the front. But we're headed to the field. Unfortunately, I can't ride in the tractor today, but there goes Dad with the 7410 with the rake on. The rake is ready to go. We also had to replace a hydraulic hose on that. We had a hydraulic leak going on that rake. So we went into town, got a new hydraulic hose made up, and we just got it installed. So unfortunately, I won't have any in the cab tractor footage today of raking up the oats. I thought it was hay, but it's oats that we're raking up and baling. Scott's running a few errands, checking cows, doing all that, and then he's going to be hooking up the 4760, I believe, to the baler, and he'll be coming out with the baler. But Dad's going to start raking, get it all. Pretty much what that rake does is you have your mower, and it goes through and it mows the grass or the alfalfa or the oats, whatever you're working with. Today it's oats. He mowed it Saturday, so it was mowed. And pretty much when it's mowed, it's a big swath. It's a big pass of, what's left. It's a big swath of oats. And so this rake, what it does is it unfolds. So it opens all the way out, kind of like the planter does. And those rake wheels go down. And what they do is they spin. And another name for these rakes is a windrower. And pretty much what it does is those rake wheels are get narrower and narrower and closer together the further back you go on the machine. So what happens is you're running down this big old pass, and it's pretty much stacking all of those oats or all the grass or all the hay, whatever you're working with, in one nice row. So then when you're ready to bale, you've got just row. You don't have mowed grass or whatever everywhere in the field. You put it in nice stacked rows so that then the baler can follow those rows and start sucking up the rows and baling it in the machine. And then when the baler is full, it spits it out, and it's a nice big bale, nice big round bale. So Dad's gonna be raking it. Scott will be headed over shortly with the baler. This will give us a chance to get started and get a good head start. And Scott will be baling, so any footage I'm going to be able to get of this will be inside this pickup here, unfortunately. There's just not enough room in that tractor, for 2 guys like us to be in there and stuff like this. But we'll start raking it. Scott will be behind us eventually and bale it. And then we'll come back when we get done raking and he's still baling. We'll go and grab the flatbed, and we'll hook a pickup onto the flatbed trailer, and we'll have we'll bring the tractor back, we'll bring the rake back, grab the pickup, and we'll hook it up to the flatbed, take the tractor back to the field,
and we'll use the tractor to load the bales out of the field onto the trailer, and then we'll haul the bales to the farm down south here where the cows are. That's where we're stacking the bales of oats here today. And then we're gonna use the skid loader that's sitting down there to unload, so we don't have to drive the tractor back and forth all the time. The tractor could just stay in the field until we're done. And from what I understand, it's about 25 acres. A little just shy of 25 acres that we're gonna be baling up today. So I hope, as long as everything goes smooth, as long as everything runs as smoothly as possible, we'll be all right. But I got tools with me in the pickup, so if something happens, I can drive out there and we can figure it out. The rake wheels should be good to go. The hydraulic, well, we tested the hydraulic hose, made sure it was nice and tight, make sure there was no leaks, and it didn't look like it at the time, but you never know what can happen once you get started out there. But this is a whole new experience for me. I've never been a part of the baling process for oats, hay, whatever. So although I'm stuck in the pickup, I'm excited to see how it goes. I pretty much know how it goes because I explained it, but I'm excited to actually see it in action in real life. But we're gonna go ahead and get over here to the field and we'll get started. All right, guys, as you can see, there's the tractor still in front of me. Over here is the field with the oats in it. You can see that it's been mowed, and you can see the big, wide, thin swaths that I was talking about. You can see how the width of the passes are the same width as the mower, and it's nice and thin. It's not super stacked up. So that's what this rake does, is it will get it into some nice piles, a nice thick row. So I'm just gonna pull in right here, and actually he's gonna be doing some raking right in front of us. So actually I'll be able to give you guys some actually decent footage, to be honest. I'm gonna sit right here. I might pull in just a little bit, and that's gonna do it. We have some on this side of the road, and then we have some on the south side down by the creek. You can see it back there behind the trees. You can see we got to do that as well. In total, it's about 23, 24 acres. But you can see Dad is going to open up. He's going to get to where he wants to begin. Pretty much what this does is when you mow, the strategy behind this is not only so that you can get it in piles for the baler, but you also want to do this because when you mow and you leave it, you have a pass and you mow a field down like this, you have a you have a side that's up towards the sky, and then you have a side that's down. And so what you want to do is, a lot of times somebody will come out here with a rake just like this, and what they'll do is they won't bale it, but they'll just rake it, and it just turns it. It turns it over. And so that's what we're going to be doing here. It's hot enough today that we're going to rake it, and it's going to not only stack it in piles where it'll be nice for the baler to grab it, but it's also going to turn the grass, or the oats in this case, over. So you can see Dad is slowly unfolding the rake. He's kind of driving forward, letting it unfold. But it allows this also, like I was saying, it lets you turn it over, pretty much flip it like a pancake, so that then it dries the bottom side. Because you don't want moisture inside of a bale, because that's how you get mold, that's how you get mildew, that's how you get rot. So here he goes. He's raking. I'll give you guys some good footage here. You can see those rake wheels stay up and they spin, and you can see where it's revealing the grass, or the oats, or the oat grass underneath. You can see it's just working its way in towards the center where it's narrower, and it's making a nice pile. It's turning the stuff over to allow for maximum drying, and it's getting it into a thicker pile for the baler. So that's pretty much how the raking side of things works. And it's the same process, no matter if you're doing grass hay, straw, from a wheat field, oats like this, it doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same process for baling and raking. So he's just going up, those wheels spin and they have teeth, so it sends the grass to the next wheel towards the back, and it's like a conveyor system almost. It works its way back, 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 all the way to the back where it spits it out, and it gets it into a nice pile. So I'll zoom back out here. I'm gonna roll the window up. I'm gonna leave the AC running for Sadie. If you guys haven't seen her for a while since the race video, here she is. I guess you could probably take your tracking collar off now since I know where you're at. But I'll show you guys. I'll leave the windows cracked in case she does decide to lock the door. She likes to do that. You stay, baby. So I'll show you guys the consistency of these oats. I've never seen this myself. Honestly, I probably should back up because I guess there is a pass right here. I probably should back up a little bit once he comes this way. But you can see this is where it's just been mowed. So I'll grab into the pass here, and it's ready. It's dry, it's crisp, but you can see it's definitely still green towards the bottom. So it just flips it over, and you can still see there's some green in there, which a little bit of green is not a big deal. A little bit of green is just fine, but like I said, you don't want a lot of moisture, because if you have, like I said, if you have moisture, you'll be at higher risk of mold, mildew, and bad hay or oats or whatever. But I mean, yeah, this is hay, but it's oat grass. It's hay. It's still hay that we're gonna feed to the cattle, but it's oat grass. It's a different breed of grass, pretty much. So this is kind of what it looks like mowed. You know, it's thin. I mean, it's definitely loose. I can pick it up by hand, and the rake can pick it up, but it's thin. You know, a baler can't catch that. It's not high enough for the baler to grab it. You can see here it's really thin pass right up through here. Not as much that got cut. But I'll walk out here to where he just raked, where I was filming and showing you guys. That's a good patch. But here is the pile where he has raked. So you can definitely see a difference in the grass. You can see where he has revealed the actual grass, and it has literally raked up all the grass and brought it in. He's brought it in, and it has created a nice big pile and one big swath. Here he comes again for another pass. But you can see it just piles it up nice, so the baler can grab it. The baler catches it. Here he comes again, doing another swath. It's going nice and smooth. And see, it opens up the field too, because another problem is if you leave your hay out in the field for too long and you leave it covered up like it is, where a lot of the field is covered with the cut grass, you risk hurting the grass that's still in the ground. If you don't uncover it, I mean, yeah, it's good. You have to have your hay on the ground long enough so that it dries, so that you don't have bad bales. But you also need to be diligent and get it raked up and get it out of the field so that when it rains again, you know, so you have sunlight. Like today, it's going to be a nice sunny day. You know, the grass underneath gets sunlight and it can start growing again for our next cutting. Because you can get 3-4 cuttings out of a field per year, depending on how much rain you get, depending on weather conditions. It all depends on that. Every aspect of crop farming, whether it's hay or, actually, there goes a baler right there. That's not our baler. That's not our baler setup, but there goes a tractor with a baler. And so that's the next stage of the process. A baler just like that, or similar to it, will come down and pick up the piles that have been swathed up, and it will get it all packed together and wrapped in a net wrap and make it into bales. So here comes Dad once again. He's saving the end rows. He's going straight up with his up and downs. With a tractor like this, it's an older tractor, so you don't have any auto steer or anything like that. So that's why he keeps looking back, looking forward, making sure he's sticking to a line. He's got to do it himself. The computer can't do it. But you can see here, it packs it up nice, it turns it, gets it all in a nice packed line. You can really see those rake wheels in action there, really raking up the hay, getting it all baled up, getting it all piled in there, cleaning up the grass underneath. But that's the process. I've never seen it done in person before. I've done it before, you know, in like Farming Simulator and stuff like this. So I mean, I know what the process is, but I've never seen it done in person before. And it's kind of satisfying to watch too, because you can clearly see like the end rows, he hasn't touched them yet. And then over here, you can see where the grass has been revealed. You know, the bottom side, the grass that's still on the ground has been revealed, and you get nice, neat piles. That's pretty. I like that look. It's satisfying. But pretty much this is the process. You go through and you rake everything up. You get it into piles like that so that the baler can pick it up. Because like I said, the stuff that hasn't been mowed, this is way too thin. That's way too close to the ground. The baler can't catch that. That's why the rake gets, you know, piles it up like that so that it's enough the baler can pick it up and catch it. So that is the raking process. I wanted to get a few up close shots there of the rake going and showing you guys the before the rake hits it and after the rake hits it, so you guys see what it looks like. We got to do this whole section here on this north side. We got to do this whole patch, and then we got to do that patch over there across the tree line there. So once he's done raking here, I'll back the pickup up. We'll go down the road just a little ways and go in and start raking up that patch. And it's the same process, same exact thing, just a little different field. But we're gonna keep on raking here. I'm gonna sit in the truck, keep the dog company, and might get a little bit of footage here, a little time lapse of the raking. We'll see, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, it's been just a little while, not very long, but Dad's been raking for a little while. I got you a little bit of time-lapse footage there of him going up the hill until I couldn't see him anymore. But it totally didn't dawn on me until I've been watching him do these passes. And I kind of talked about it when I said that no matter what you're dealing with, corn, soybeans, wheat, hay, whatever you're growing, anything that has to do with farming relies on the weather. And you have to have rain. And for a while, we had a very, very dry beginning to our summer. Very, very dry. We went very, very long, quite a few weeks without rain. And so I really wanted to show you guys it. I mean, you can probably obviously tell, but it's a night and day difference when it comes to how much hay you're getting. Obviously, if you don't get a lot of, I told you guys that depending on how much rain you can get 3-4 cuttings out of a field. If you get a lot of rain and you're getting good weather and your grass and your hay ground is getting watered, you're going to get quite a bit of hay. You can get 3-4 cuttings out of it easy. But there are some times you might only be able to get 2 cuttings out of it. If you don't get enough rain, you know, you can't produce the grass, you can't grow the hay to get 3 cuttings out of it. But you can obviously tell on this hillside where he's mowed on this hill, it's really thin. You can almost not even see that it's mowed. But then you get down into here and you can see, here he comes again up on the top of the hill. But you can see right in here on this downhill slope, it's really thin and it gets thicker as it goes up into the uphill. That's just due to the yield. Just like with crop, just like with any other crop, like right here, there's barely anything here. Just because that's the yield that we got out of it. But then you get down in here into this bottom, into this, I shouldn't call it a wash, but right where it goes from down back to up again, and you can see how big the piles are getting right down in the waterway almost, right there where the water sits. Because here is on the downhill, you can see it's a little bit thinner. This is where he has already raked, but you can see it's thinner up there, and it works its way down, and it's a little bit thicker here. But then if I just walk down just a little bit, I mean, look at the size of the piles down here in the bottom, where the water just sits and soaks into the ground. This, and you can see, oh my gosh, even the stuff that's raked, you can see a difference in the color. That just shows you right there how important water is. Look at this. Look at how green it is here. You know, it's nice and green. And just look at that. The piles are huge in this bottom. But that goes to show you the sheer importance of water and rain. Because if we have a long dry season, we're not going to yield very well on our hay. And then that in turn means we got to buy more stay moist feed for our cattle. And that's profit that we have to spend. You know, there's a whole nother side of farming when it comes to the income versus your paying, what money you're bringing in versus what money you're taking out. It's a whole nother side of things. But if you can bale your own hay and you have a good hay season, you don't have to buy as much cattle feed for the cattle. You don't have to rely on buying a whole bunch of stay moist and stuff like this when you can rely on the hay. And then also at the same time, you've got cattle out at pasture during the summer, but if you don't have enough rain to keep the grass up, you're gonna have to pull them off the pasture. But you can see Dad is now starting to come into the end rows. He's pretty much done with the center with his up and downs now. So he's gonna be getting a little bit more up close and personal with us here, starting on these end rows where he turns. But I really wanted to show you the height difference of the piles, and that's to be expected. Of course you're gonna have taller grass, richer grass down there in the bottom, of course. But I just wanted to show you guys that, because I just think every aspect of this is cool. So I wanted to show you guys that. Hey, you're in my spot. I wanted to show you guys that just to show you the sheer importance of water and why we need it. And it doesn't take much to hurt on a dry season. But you can see here he comes, he's doing a turn. Pretty much this is just gonna be a farming video. Holy cow. I can't remember the last time I had just a farming video. It's been racing for a while. For the first time in a while, we got a farming video, folks, which I'm excited about. So here he comes again. He had to back up and get repositioned. He dropped the rake once again, and he's gonna get nice and close. I already backed up the truck, so I'm not in the way when he does the next passes. But those teeth, those rake wheels are set up. You got a left-hand wheel and a right-hand wheel, and pretty much the only difference between a left hand and a right hand is the direction the teeth are facing. Because when you put those wheels on, your teeth have to point towards the back, so that when you're raking, it sends it to the back. It doesn't send it out. And when you pick them up, those teeth are designed to face a certain direction to bring the grass to the back. You can't put a right-hand wheel on the left side. And they're designed where, I guess I don't know for sure if you could just put a right-hand wheel backwards. I mean, they're not really designed for that, because the way they're designed, the way they're shaped. But there's left-hand wheels and there's right-hand wheels, and you have to put them left on the left, right on the right, so that you are sending the grass the right way. Because if you're shooting grass out with the rake, you're not helping it. You're just scattering it even further. So you got to get it so that it brings it in. But like I said, I wanted to show you the sheer size differences of the piles down in that bottom. It's tall, it's greener. You're gonna get a lot. We're gonna get a lot of hay out of that, which that's nice. That's to be expected down in a bottom. But if you have a really dry season, even those bottoms don't get water. Yeah, they'll get the most water because the water will run down the hill. So no matter what kind of season you get, that bottom is gonna get the most water. But even if you only get, for example, if you only get a rainstorm where you only get maybe 7/10 of an inch of rain, that's still, yeah, the bottom's still gonna get the most of it, but that's not a lot. But it's all part of farming. You gotta rely on the weather and hope it goes well for you. But I just wanted to show you guys that that height difference in the bottom there with those piles. So I'm just gonna keep sitting here, waiting until he's ready to move, which shouldn't be too much longer. Like I said, he's pretty much down to the end rows at this point. So it should only be a few more passes, and it's gonna take him a while longer because he's gotta turn and all this stuff now. It's not straight up and down anymore. But I'm hoping here in the next couple seconds here, he should be popping over the hill, coming back towards us on the outside pass. Unless he's gonna go to the other side. I don't know. I don't know his process. I can't read his mind. But I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Like I said, this is the first video in a while that's had a lot of farming action. So I'm excited. I love farming, so you know, I love showing you guys and taking you guys along with me. And I'm sorry for all the rambling and, you know, the longer footage, but this is something that I haven't been a part of before. I haven't been a part of the baling process. So I want to show as much as I can and explain as much as I can so that I can teach you guys as I'm learning too. But so I hope you guys are enjoying it. By the looks of it, with the way I already have a lot of footage for this video, our next race will probably be in the next video. Who knows? Unless we have a big weekend next weekend too. Who knows? I never know how much footage I'm gonna get. So nonetheless, hope you guys are enjoying this video. But I'm gonna go ahead and just sit and wait for us to move to the next part of the field, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit. So this is right after that time-lapse footage you guys saw. Dad had to stop and back up. He's backing up to restart. Because pretty much what happened is some of the teeth on the rake wheel got caught in the chains on the spring. And he told me, he goes, that's why you gotta keep looking back to, one, make sure you're still on your line, but two, to make sure that your rake wheels don't get caught on the chain and they stop spinning. That's pretty much what happened there. And if you leave it long enough, you could break the teeth off. So that's what he had to do there. He had to stop and back up and get that tooth out of the chain there. See, I'm learning as we go here. Even just watching and seeing the problems that arise, I'm learning how stuff works. And that's all part of it. So I wanted to show you guys that too, that can happen. And just quickly pop the, pull the tooth out of the chain link and you're good to go. And so we're pretty much almost done with this field at this point. Just down to the end rows at this point. You can still see I'm standing right in the middle of a pass. He's got to do this yet. He's got to go up the top there. Pretty much the perimeter of the field is what's left to do. So I'm just going to sit and wait until he's ready to jump ship and go across the road over to that portion. We got to do all that yet too. And we'll go from there. Alright guys, so here is the east end of the north patch that we were just in. The gate, the entrance that we were parked in is just over that hill. But we are now in the south patch, and I figured out that they mowed this too. So as Dad pulled in here, he was unfolding the rake, and he did a pass. You can see the pile of grass down the entryway into the south patch here. And he is just on the other side of those trees, beginning the process of raking the south patch, which is the exact same process. Here he is right here. Zoom in a little bit so you guys can see, but it's pretty much the same exact process, just a different piece of ground. And so we're gonna be here, and here hopefully soon Scott should be coming with the baler setup and heading into the north patch to start baling up the stuff that we've already raked. But we got a ways to, we just got started here in the north patch, or the south patch I should say. So we got a ways to go. but I'm not going to show too much of the raking on that because I've already shown quite a bit of raking in the north patch, and it's the same thing. So pretty much what's going to happen now is whenever Scott shows up, I can go across the road, or I can get good footage from right here of the north patch of him baling. I'm hoping maybe he'll be able to dispense a bale over here, but I never know. But once we're done raking, what we're going to do is we're going to take the rake back. Dad's going to start taking the rake back towards the shop. I'm going to head over the other direction, over to the truck stop, and grab us something for lunch real quick and meet him back at the shop. We'll drop the rake and we will eat, have a quick little lunch break, eat lunch, and then we will grab the flatbed and we will come back over here with the tractor and the flatbed so that we can begin loading the bales as Scott is baling them. So we're just going to wait, see what happens here, and we'll keep going.